So the first step of creating your tiny house model in SketchUp, we need to open SketchUp. So I'm going to go up to Spotlight, type in SKET, SketchUp should pop up, and you can double click to open it. Now you'll probably get the welcome screen if you don't have it open yet. You're going to pick the simple inches template right here. Click that, and it should pop up with your blank file. It's untitled right now. Okay, this guy is SketchUp Steve. We don't need him, but notice he is flat. The only purpose he serves is for scale. He is flat like Flat Stanley, but he is there for scale because you do not want to zoom in and zoom out indefinitely, because you can actually lose your objects permanently without a way to find them. So keep him kind of in sight so you don't get lost. Okay, some basic tools at the top. This guy is your select tool. Shortcut is spacebar. Next guy is erase. So we could erase Steve by just clicking him if you want. Shortcut for erase is E. Next guy, this is our line tool. Shortcut for line is L. It will be faster to use your keyboard shortcuts rather than coming up and clicking on the toolbar each time. Other ones we need to know are over here. Orbit is this guy. Shortcut for orbit is O. Orbit will let you kind of spin around like we would use the view cube in Tinkercad. And then pan is the hand. That will let you pan side to side, up and down, just drag it around on screen. The shortcut for pan is less handy. It is Command R to pull it up. Okay, so first thing for our tiny house, and I'm going to bring Steve back so we can get an idea for scale. First thing we're going to do, we need to draw the floor. So we're going to click L for line. I'm going to start not right on the corner here. Remember, these are our axes, so this would be like our y-axis is green, x-axis is red, and blue would be our z-axis up and down. So I'm going to, very importantly, click and then let off of my mouse or my trackpad. Then I'm going to give it a direction. You cannot click and drag and let off. You have to click and release. So I clicked, and now I can give it a direction. Notice down here in this corner, it's showing our readout for our length. Do not click in this box. It'll mess you up. Just point it in the direction you want to go. So I want it to go on the red axis, and then I'm going to type 16 apostrophe enter, which would be 16 feet. It knows that it's going to go in this box. Okay. Now we're going to go back this way, not blue, because that's up and down. I need to get it to light up green like this. And sometimes it's helpful to change your view. So you could use your orbit tool, spin it to the side a little bit like that. If you need to zoom, there is a zoom tool, but it doesn't work like your phone. If you're using your trackpad, just rest 2 fingers on your trackpad and then slide up or slide down to zoom in and out. Okay, for the rest of our floor, L for line. We're going to pick that corner we started at, or where we left off at. We need it to light up green so that it's parallel to the y-axis. That's good. We're going to type 20 feet, enter. Make sure you hit the foot mark and not inches. And we're going to come over this way, another 16 feet, 16 apostrophe enter. And then the last one, it should light up green, and it should say endpoint when we're at that first corner we started on. That will now enclose that space. So you can now see we have a face to our object in addition to our border. Now, one thing that's important is how we select things in SketchUp. And there's some special things that kind of help us determine what we're doing. So if I click once, notice how it selects this face. If I if I double click, it's going to pick the face and the edge. And if I triple click, it's going to grab everything connected to it. So even if I had some other stuff off to the side, notice when I click once, it's just the face. Double click is the face and the boundary, or the edge of it, and then when I triple click, everything remotely connected to it, everything that touches somehow is going to be selected. We'll get rid of this stuff. Okay, so we're going to give some depth to our floor. It's going to be 4 inches thick. So I'm going to hit P for push-pull. That is this tool right here. Same thing, we cannot click and drag. We're going to click once and release. Then we point it or slide your mouse up to give it a direction. We're going to type 4 inches, enter. Now, when you type inches, you have to hold the shift key down and hit quote, same as the apostrophe key. You cannot just type apostrophe apostrophe. It still reads that as feet. Now, we can see that this looks about right. However, what we want to double check is, we could check the size if you wanted. T for tape measure is your tool. And I can just click one corner and come to the other corner. Notice it says 16 feet there, okay? And if I check it going back this way, it says it's 20 foot down at the bottom right. So that's the right size. We need to collect this all together like we would in Tinkercad so we don't accidentally mess it up. Because if I try and move my object, I could hit M for move or use this tool. And if I pick something, it's going to get all stretched out and messed up. If you're in a command like this and you're like, uh-oh, this is bad, you can just hit the escape key and it'll cancel out of whatever you're doing. So, to collect this together, we're going to create a group just like Tinkercad. You need your select tool, so spacebar, and you're going to triple click. Depending on your mouse sensitivity, you might have to click faster or slower, but it should select everything that we drew for the floor here. So 1, 2, 3. Notice that selects both the face, the edge, and all the stuff underneath. If I orbit up, notice it'll be on the bottom side like that also. Okay? Then, a couple ways. We can either shortcut it, which would be hit Command G on your keyboard, and that'll make it a group. You can also right-click with a mouse or with your trackpad. It would be a 2-finger click, and you would hit Make Group. And if you want to do it the hard way, you can triple click and go up to Edit, Make Group. I would recommend using the shortcut. Just hit Command G. Now, to tell that it's a group, it doesn't look any different when you're done, but when you select it, just click on it once. Notice everything is now highlighted with this blue border, which shows it's grouped together. Whereas before, when we click on it, it would only pick one face at a time like that. So when you have it grouped, now you can tell everything is all together, and if we try to move it, it stays all connected the right size and shape. Okay, last thing we need to do, we need to save this so we don't accidentally lose it, and we don't have it called untitled forever. So we're going to go File, Save As. I would recommend putting it in your Documents folder, but you could save it to your desktop, would be okay. And title it Tiny House, or maybe put your name attached to that. So I'm going to call mine Tiny House 4th quarter 2020. And hit save. And we're good to go.